welcome to Limerick and the EUC European Ultimate Championships 2023. I am Lorcan Murray and I am joined by the wonderful, wild and free Stefan Rapazzo. Stefan, what have we got in store for the people today?
Oh, we've got all sorts in store, starting with this open division matchup between Spain and Israel. Lorcan, these are two teams coming in here hoping that they're flying under the radar just enough that nobody knows how to come at them. No, they don't. They're not going to have any idea what to expect. Though we believe there could be some similarity in style. These two teams see themselves as very different. Spaniards prize themselves on their small ball, their beach style. They're trying everything they can to convert their beach style into a grass style and grow the culture of this club, comfortable throwing in the wind, while the team from Israel, they are, bringing a lot of it together as well. They got a lot of players who play on the international scene and club teams, and a lot of the same in that sense, trying to put it all together, get that national identity coming together here at Lork.
As we can see, Katsir, expect him, number 94, to be a big player for this Israeli O-line, one of the more experienced leaders on their side, making the trip across the Mediterranean and up through Europe to the wonderful, sunny fields of Limerick.
Oh, those sunny fields of Limerick. A delight to be here in every which sense. The weather, an expectation, and a moment of beauty in this weather at this very moment. So happy as such.
So Israel starting things off in the 3-4 position, but looking to target that give-go that makes them so effective wherever they are. Strasman gets it down the line. Sheshek, momentary check. Still in bounds. So we've had a whole game on this pitch already, but nobody has yet to score in that left-hand end zone.
Incredible about that last one.
Back into the middle to Strasman. Has the cut, sees it, and finds Osri. Osri with a lot of experience on this team. Sheshek looks for the quick pop, doesn't get it off in time, forced to go back to the middle. Strasman. And a big layout bid immediately. Spain looking to heat things up early on in this matchup. Fantastic play by Walter Lopez.
Wow, he came flying out of nowhere there. Baited a little bit, but exploded into the defense there. What a play from the 31-year-old.
So Dorta picks it up and just about able to get it to Diaz. Dorta goes up the line, doesn't like it, it's forcing a break from Diaz. He floats one out, middle of the pitch, comfortably collected in the end. Perez makes things a little bit difficult. They are throwing themselves around here early, Steph. Lorenzo goes to send it down the line, but nice heads-up play by Ziskin. Semo. It's into the middle, and Ziskin launches one deep. He's looking for the end zone and can't connect with Schuster Shiloni.
Just a bit too much on that one. I like the shape. I like the aggressive nature of it. No hesitation. That's what they're going to need on some of these. I mean, this is still a conversion chance, of course, but love the way that they did attack that on the second chance right after the turn.
Something we expect to see Israel try and fine-tune as this tournament goes on are those deep shots. Not traditionally within their wheelhouse, but they understand they have got to expand their presence on the field to legitimize some space for the unders. Dorta searching around for options, is eventually able to get it to Diaz. Dorta and Diaz going to be very much the tip of the spear for this D-line for Spain. Oh, it clips a toe, but not quite enough. And here's that give-go style that the Spaniards perfected on the beach and are now trying to help grow in some grass. Nice, quick fire offense. Diaz makes himself available and is able to get the push pass down the line and launches a deep shot of himself. Searching and finding for the goal. Miguel Jimenez Perez.
A big shot there, big goal. Jimenez Perez coming from the Guayota club, of course, on the island of Tenerife there. Really got some separation there and was made that defensive assignment pay for not respecting the deep there. So they were wondering if they could get these long games going, not just be one-dimensional, not just playing their ticky-tacky style. And here, wow, there's the D. That set up the first. That was the first turn they got. And here's the setup. Beautiful throw there by Diaz. Pops on the board with an assist, but more importantly, Spainer on the board with a break to open this game. That's exactly how you want to come into a contest if you're the Spaniards.
First goal we've seen in that left-hand end zone, as we can have a look at it there from our camera. So, going ever so slightly upwind, but the weather hasn't been too invasive so far today.
No, this is, I mean, in comparison to yesterday, this is sunny beach weather. All things said, even in comparison to what I think we're going to come to expect in Limerick, this is calm. This is, not even a thrower's wind. This is a player's wind. This is a deep receiver's wind even right now.
Deep receiver at that time in the form of Jimenez Perez. So let's see, can Israel respond? Started on offense, looking to settle themselves in a little bit more into this matchup. Sheshik. And Sheshik is going to be central for Israel. And there's that man, Katzir. Katzir gets it back, and the Israelis starting to feel themselves a little bit. Schuster Shaloni. A nice offhand leading pass into the path of Strasman. And Strasman launches one himself, going all the way. Chased down and collected! What an incredible grab by Yaren Katzir.
Wow, the throw. I mean, every great catch comes on the heels of a mediocre throw, but I can't even say it. Just knows his receiver, put it just enough in front, and the exceptional play, but they're still on the field, so that was put down to grass.
Katzir tried to toe the line, but it was just a bit too far in the end. So now Spain going with the wind and an opportunity to get a second break early on.
Ooh.
And it's immediately going to go back for a foul call. I thought that was squandered momentarily. So instead, resorting for the dump. And the break. We know that the Spaniards want to attack the break as much as possible. Diaz. Centering it again as they continue to search for downfield depth. And resetting back into the middle, there or thereabouts. And Diaz launches another one deep, but just too high and over the head of Lorenzo.
Aggressive D-line offense there. They get it. They're trying to make them pay. They got one break on the board, trying to put that other one on just a bit too quickly. There was a little bit of time to set that play up more, throw over-aggressive. But they're at least playing the field position game here. If they got to start playing defense again, they might as well do it from that other end.
Not as crucial a move, shall we say, today. Sending it the Huck and D was a lot of that witnessed on the live streams yesterday.
So the Israeli offense coming out of a horizontal here with a bit of an isolation on Tal Osri to start things off.
Leibovich. And they're just playing a bit of a short game to get it started. Strassman and Leibovich trying to find some options downfield. Back to Leibovich. And really great cutting. Fantastic hard work by Sheshik. But still only about 2 yards gained in the end. One of their more comfortable throwers, to say the least. Strassman. Leibovich. And Leibovich launches one himself. He recognized the undermarking from the Spaniards. Floats it up a little bit, but a little bit too much.
Some thought about a call there. Osri went up very, very early there. So that because of the fact that he went up that early, there was some inevitable contact. He's got a case. There was contact, but he's also was in the air early on a bit of an over-ambitious read to go get it.
So Toasty got a little bit cooked on that one.
That's safe to say. I'm trying to identify this Israeli offense. It's similar to one that I've used in some coaching in my days as well. And I mean, they're starting in horizontal and they're resetting in horizontal. they're playing with their sideline cuts a bit more, though, which kind of baffles me. They're not really using that fast lane in the center, and I find it tough to reset and stay in a host stack throughout the whole length of the field if your resets aren't resetting from the sideline and then pushing into the middle for your cutting time. If they're doing it opposite, that's a little bit strange to me, but I just don't see the cycling, so I'm going to keep my eye on that. Why don't you do the same at home?
Puts a lot of pressure on your throwers to get some tough break shots off in order to escape the sideline. Sent it back to Leibovich and across to Strassman. Into the middle, that's that give-go that they're more comfortable with, setting up power positions. Samo decided to turn it down. Leibovich, Strassman, the quick resets and popping it back into the middle. Ozri, he's come back under this time and almost throwing that past Strassman. Leibovich just acting as that swing handler. Every catch is followed by an immediate throw to the other sideline, helping to keep them going, but they're struggling with some follow-throughs. Now they're able to get it down to Katsir. Katsir sets it up to Leibovich. The give-go is starting to come to the fore as these two teams with, I would have to say, quite similar styles, showing where they like that short space. Leibovich, there's a fantastic cut for the goal and collected. Sheshik.
Sheshik, one of the heartbeat players of this team, one that they're going to need to depend on, and now that they're in a bit of a hole, 2 breaks behind early, it's good. I'm sure the Israeli team is happy to see some of their talismanic players stepping up, making that cut for the goal. Those small space goals when they, opening an easy option for the thrower in front of the end zone, not making him have to turn around, reset a second time, look to your swings. Okay, let me keep my focus on that stack. Give me something right from the front, and that's exactly what Itay Chechik did there. And Israel on the board. We're going to have a look at their first D-line. Let's see what they bring. They'll talk a little bit about how they break up their lines before the game. We had the pleasure, as we most often do, to talk to these teams and their coaches, but they split their lines up. A couple D-lines designated by the zones they run, and then, I think they use kind of a combination of those two lines, a top end of those lines when they're going to run their match D. So let's see what they come out with here. We'll keep our eye on what the Israeli D-line's doing tactically, and of course this will be the first time we see the Spanish O-line just the same.
They have 2 different zones as well as a match defense. They swap personnel about when trying to find the right defensive answer. Nice to get on the board, and especially going upwind so frequently. That can quickly become a 2-point deficit. But I think both teams, when they've been at their best, they've been showing off exactly what they practice all year long. That trust in each other. As here comes Spain trying to get give-go, but it's gone out the sideline. There's going to be conversation. Nope, called back in. So Spain under a little bit of pressure here. Maybe not quite prepared for it. Marquez stepped too early for that break in the end. Troiano goes for the big arcing flick break. Nicely chased down. I thought that one was going to hit some kind of Israeli defense. But instead, here come the Spanish. Juan Pasco gets it again and looks to lead it in the layout catch. That one Fran connection. Francisco Romano with the goal.
Now that is tiki-taki offense. It took him a little while in that corner. They got slowed down just a bit. Troiano put that throw out into space, collected by the number 8 shirt of Pascal, and then they were off and running. There was no stall count that reached 1. That was just seamless, scintillating speed that moved them up the field, and I made a nice fully horizontal layout to seal the deal. Why not?
6 and 8, Francisco Romano and Juan Pasco love playing with each other. They are in something of a combination threat, and you need to be prepared to try and shut them down right now, showing off what makes Spanish Ultimate so lethal. Doesn't matter where they are playing, it seems. They're able to bring that beach vibe to the green grass fields of Ireland.
Jokingly referred to as the married couple on the team, those two. Good to see them getting involved combining with one another, bringing their style to this team. And of course, this team has a full integration of the Spanish ultimate scene. They've got players from all over. They've got expats living overseas. But there are three clubs that are primarily represented in Guayota, Quixotes, and Kraken. And that's basically Tenerife, Madrid, and Barcelona, the three hubs that have a couple central cores really putting the greater core of this team together.
Those connections will be crucial as you look to establish who you are, as well as that upwind score is going to be a big deal. The wind's starting to rise. That classic idiom, if you don't like the weather in Ireland, wait 5 minutes. And teams can't really afford to do that in these situations. You got to take those opportunities when they come, as now Israel facing off against a Spanish zone.
Timeout only gives you 2.
So let's see how they can get their style playing under intense amounts of pressure right now. Semo working well with Ziskin. That's Yuval Ziskin. Semo is just in that space. Nicely done, using his body to get it amongst the cup and then throwing straight past it. That time it was to Schuster. So again, not forcing anything. Ben Zion. Ben Zion goes to the far sideline. He has Zitsky, sees him, hits him. You've got to swing a lot against this zone.
And here comes the wind. Nice big gust into our faces, so far sideline to near sideline.
Sheshik and Strassman now. So plenty of Israeli players coming back, not afraid to get their hands on the disc, not afraid to take that pressure on. Strassman. Ben Zion back to Strassman. And there's Sheshik now stepping into the zone with his body, not able to get the throw off to Schuster. Shiloni on the other side of it though, so instead they're forced to reset. Get a couple of dicey breaks off Ben Zion. Found Schuster, Shiloni. Back to Ben Zion, and again, go! That one was close to down. Zitsky's calling it up.
And the Spaniards calling it down.
Dorta disputing. Lorenzo indicates it was up. Dorta quick to retract. And the disc will restart in the hands of Yuval Ziskin. Gets it to Semo. And Semo goes with this lovely push pass backhand. A little bit risky, but sometimes you got to take those risks. Gamble ever so slightly. And here to the near sideline, and Ben Zion. Ben Zion back in and across. Strassman. So they're taking their time. They're not forcing anything, Steph.
Yeah, interesting zone here. The Spanish, a 3-2-2-1. Now that 3-2-1 is all that they could afford.
They tried to jump through. Zitsky was able to stand strong and take it in. Strassman spreads it across to Semo. Semo has Strassman and Zitsky. And it goes that way. Back to Semo. Strassman out to the far side, and it floats just ever so slightly too much. And Louis Pacheco gets in there and launches one deep immediately. Looking for Lorenzo!
How's that Spanish counterattack? 30 there, steps into the lane, did Pacheco, takes it away and just puts it the length of the field. 44 passes by the Israelis. That zone endured, a bend but don't break kind of zone. I was reassessing after I said I screwed up the numbers of assessing what that's 3, 2, 4, 6. It was a 3-player front with a wall, and then a 3-player middle, normal, 3-3-1. But they had a player on the far side of their zone. So when it was swinging sideline to sideline, the offside wing, which could have been 30, and it could have been Pacheco there, was poaching in and almost becoming a part of, like taking away the handler and leaving them to that hammer space, knowing that they've got the wing player behind and making that the space rather than the swing space. A very aggressive Spanish zone. And they get the takeaway and the quick break to follow.
Lightning fast response by the Spaniards after getting the turn. It was really great work, patient by Israel, but Spain just wearing them down slowly over time. I like the times they were able to get those catches. Sheshik appearing a couple of times. Zitsky jumping through that zone to catch it. in the cup space and then throwing the rest of the way. So you break the first level of the zone with your movement and a nice quick pop. You break the second level by just basically creating that classic Luke Skywalker drill and beating a mark to an isolated player. As now Spain seem to be sticking with the zone and the 3-3-1 formation. Young in the rove position. So how can Libovic with the disc, how can the Israelis respond? Tighten up on their offensive focus, maybe not try to force too much. This time it's Tal Ozri who seems to be sitting in the driver's seat against it. And Libovic finds a gap on the sideline, able to get it to Svani. That's Ozri again, back into Libovic. Couldn't get the swing off initially, nice pressure. Ben Dor has it now. Dorta is always trying to creep in there. Zitsky, that is Yaron Zitsky. Ben Dor. And again to Zitsky, he had that fantastic layout grab, it was just out of bounds earlier in the matchup. Back to Ozri, and Ozri step through break, and Zitsky's doing a great work finding those spaces on that sideline. Libovic, Ozri shoots, and a huge grab, an incredible layout for the goal. Itai Shishik.
Wow, what a bid there, got fully horizontal in the corner. That's what they needed. After their last possession, they strung 44 passes together. They showed the patience that any team wants to show against the zone, and then they got stung by it. Second time they saw the exact same zone. They didn't change their mentality. They didn't show any urgency to rush it. They found a way through, and then they get the highlight play at the end to put the point on the board for the hold.
If you're Spain and you see Sheshik make that play, you're thinking, that's okay then. That's what they have to do to score going downwind. Maybe you want to switch it up, don't go with that exact same zone. So you're going to have another look. Like you said, they were doing a really good job of just attacking that space on the sideline over and over again. And then Sheshik cuts from behind the cup. And the big layout grab.
Well, that part we're going to have to see again here. Let's all eyes on that. Here's the finish. Oh, what a play. And I keep assessing this zone, Lorcan. There is that last time I said it was the wings that were cheating. This time it seemed like the mid, the center of that second level, the middle level, had a bit more liberty this time. It was that position that was moving forward. I'm not sure if I'm seeing it wrong, if people are maybe just feeling liberal at times, or if they're actually making those calls and kind of like switching the player that has a bit more liberty to poach and press in.
And again, the Spaniards wasting no time getting that quick fire, give, go offense rolling. Dalmau, he worked very well on the last point. Troiano, he has Dalmau to one side, calls him back just a little bit against this Israeli zone. So now they're starting to show off their different defensive looks. Meshigiron goes to the opposite sideline. Romano with a beautiful one over the top of the zone. And the quick pop in for the score. Nicely done by the Spaniards.
Wow, the scuba really opened up everything there. Romano broke open the play, and then easy finish there from the 12-year veteran playing out of Barcelona. Francisco Romano doesn't get a stat there, but he does break the play open. It's the hockey assist. It's the one that compromises the zone. Those are, you can be patient and go side to side all you want. Upping the throw count works in the favor of the zone and the defenders. But if you can use the space over top, if you can pop it over top, there's no need for patience. You're going to get those opportunities much sooner, as you see here for the finish.
Really nicely finished by Monterde and Dalmau. Doing what Spain does better than almost anybody, certainly anybody in Europe on beach. And that's that quick fire offense. Shows you the difference between playing those zones against a team that's going downwind and upwind, though. I don't think we'd have seen that throw when they were going from right to left.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It is, you've got to play the weather here. You've got to play to what's in front of you, choose your throws on what the defense shows you first, and then, okay, what am I feeling here? You've got to have constant assessment of the wind here in Limerick, anywhere, but especially when it's come and go so much as we're getting here.
Intermittent, inclement weather can really stretch your tactical awareness. As here come Israel again, they're going against the Spanish zone. So able to break it down last time. Can they do it this time? Tosti almost overthrows Ben-Dor. Ben-Dor able to get it across to Sheshik. Like you said earlier, Steph, Sheshik's going to be so important and already showing off some of his style as well as his substance. Ben-Dor gets it across to Semo. Semo almost underthrows it, making Tosti even get low and grab it. Playing well now, not forcing too much, but that goes back to Ozri. Ben-Dor and Semo says no to the quick pop from Semo. And I think those are the kind of pops you really need to hit against this zone. Just let his momentum carry him past the first defender or two. Back to Ben-Dor. There's the pop to Semo. This time he has Sheshik but turns him down. Would have been a little bit of a difficult flick break. So it's good resetting from Israel, although they may have accidentally abandoned Semo momentarily. Sheshik comes back to help him out. And now they're able to get it across to Ozri. Taknai. The call from Semo and then opens up the space on the opposite side to Ben-Dor. So just working their way slowly down the pitch, not forcing anything, but also not going for those overheads.
Yeah, it's a very conservative attack here. I like their patience, but being down a little bit more attacking notion would maybe not hurt them here. I don't want to say that they need to force things into turnovers, but there's been a couple looks that they're just not pulling the trigger on.
Nice break by Semo into Sheshik, and Sheshik gets back to Ben-Dor and across Taknai, and Semo's on the opposite side. Semo is just running backwards and forwards across this pitch, trying to find those gaps in the front marks of the zone. Semo. I would have thought the scooper was on to Tesic, but he turns it down instead, going through the middle. Sheshik back to Ben-Dor. Ben-Dor not forcing anything, just taking their time. And now we're starting to see it right on the end zone line. Can they be patient? Can they take their time? Katzir gets it back to Semo. Semo directing traffic a little bit. And then with the blade over the top to Katzir for the goal.
Cuts like a knife, those blades like that for scores. So I was saying earlier in the point that they were a little bit conservative. Conservatism gets the job done on this time of asking. They took their time. They didn't force anything. They chipped away. Interesting to see no melt or conversion by the Spaniards. They held that zone right to the very end. I mean, there's a point where you can't once you're your back's to the end zone, that 5-10 meters. If you haven't changed by then, you're gonna get burned trying to transition in the red zone. But yeah, interesting. They had a full hold zone there with no notion to transition as we watch the final throw coming up here. Blade coming out just now. And there's the goal.
Katzir gobbled that one up greedily.
Must have missed breakfast.
A lot of back and forth in the backfield, but Katzir showed up right at the end when they needed him. A couple of crucial touches and getting the goal. A real leader for this Israeli team. And do you think the Spaniards maybe leave the zone at home for the next defensive point after Israel have shown they've adapted to it and played through it twice?
I think that, yeah, from a coaching chair, showing a little bit of that versatility, not allowing the offense you're playing against to get too comfortable, throwing them a couple looks. I'd say this is a nice time to change things up. Not for, oh geez, we need to find another answer. Just to keep their opposition on their toes and not let them get comfortable.
Well, let's see what defense the Israelis come out with as they try to limit that lightning quick Spanish offense.
Yeah, of course, the Spanish are going to have to hold until they get any opportunity to show some different defensive looks. So
Troiano walking that one deep into Israeli territory.
So that was not a favorable pull for Israel.
An immediate cut down the line. Troiano doesn't want it. A good first 10 seconds of defense, but an even better shot all the way to the back of the end zone in the waiting arms of Ricardo Marquez.
Well, what more can you say about that? Short pull, He takes a long walk, catches his breath, was looking at that stack probably 10 steps before he got to his pivot mark. You know, watched one or two cuts happen and then just jacked the outside in. Beautiful shot. I think we've got a timeout on the field here by Israel Lorcan, but Spain looking strong no matter how they slice it. There's another look of the goal.
Right now they are cutting it fine as Spain with their second single point offense, and they take the lead 5-3.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Welcome back as we zoom in on the Israeli Open side here, the European Ultimate Championships 2023. Spain, 2 points up, benefactors and benefiting from the break that they were able to get. It was a lightning quick response. After 44 passes against their zone, the Israelis turned it over, and Spain just picked it up and launched it deep. I do think it was very good Israeli match defense for 7 seconds on the last Spanish offensive point. But then that throw was just a thing of beauty from Juan Troiano, and they're going to have to really start adapting and recognizing that, like you say, he's slicing it fine.
Yeah, I mean, great offense if you're taking away the under, or defense, take away the unders, take away the unders, take away the unders. But what do you leave exposed? And especially when it's, you know, was that a deep shot? Probably 30 meters in the air, 10 of them into the end zone. They're only 20 meters out. To say it's a deep shot is a bit rich, but it was a big throw, and it was because they were aggressively taking away the unders. That space in the back of the end zone really opened up, and Israel are looking for answers now. They've had, you know, you look at their count passes on those 3 zone points that one went against them, 44, 20, and 39. They're made to work for their goals, and one was didn't really go their way.
No strangers to hard work indeed. As Semo's trying to get that disc back, and Spain are making him put in an awful lot of effort to do so. Again, seems like Spain holding this zone for now. Disc floating dangerously, tantalizingly if you're a Spanish defender in the end zone. Able to get that quick pop through the middle, but not continue it. So frequently they can get that pass into the cup, but then they throw themselves out of it backwards rather than further downfield. So Strassman, again, they're forced to just go back a little bit. And the Spanish really keeping them in their own end zone for now, which might be a surprise to those of you paying attention to the flags in the background. Zitsky down the line to Semo. And continuing to recycle it. Now they're able to suck the Spanish zone in a little bit and gain some yards on the far sideline. That is the ultimate goal with these quick pops and swings. Strassman. Ziskin. Strassman. And I like that look as soon as he collects it, looking to pass it back. Strassman. And big gains all the way down the field. Now Schuster Shiloni. He pops it off. Sheshik. That crucial player, Strassman. Central handler for them, gets it back to Semo. So not afraid to take the long way with these passes. Zitsky shoots for the end zone and scores to Sheshik.
So another hold, another zone. They're still being made to work. I guess the Spaniards are fine with their zone. They're happy to make this the ongoing game plan to keep the Israelis having to go through the hands and through the hands. That one, 28 passes till they could eventuate to the goal there. And I mean, I guess it's with a break in the back pocket. They're going up 2 and then back to 1 when Israel scores. They can maybe afford to make them do this. However, Israel's gonna get more comfortable doing it as the game goes on. The offense is going to get the advantage looking at this unless the weather picks back up. Then the Spaniards will be in a pretty good position, having been running this and getting their familiarity. The weather picks up, they get their 8th defender, so to speak, and then Israel could be in trouble. But I wouldn't mind seeing what Spain can do differently on defense and put some pressure on with their legs. Just see if they can run them a bit.
It does seem that the Israelis have found a level of comfort working against the zone. And like you were saying earlier, it's best to just throw out a couple of different shapes, like you're on a dance floor. Yeah. And just show the different things so they can't get comfortable. So their handlers are starting to feel themselves a little bit. We've seen how comfortably they've been moving in the backfield. Semo has been fantastic. Strassman, Sheshik, of course. Lebo and Bendor have helped out time and a few times here and there, as well as Yuval Ziskin. But a bit of match, maybe see what they can do. Sometimes just that surprise can be enough to generate a turnover. Right now it is the Israelis who need a turnover. They're going with an arrowhead zone. And the shot straight through the middle. It goes awry. And the Israelis get that crucial turn. The wind has died down, so not too much in their way. No hesitation on the shot, but maybe Osri should have thought about it a little bit more. There's going to be a foul called downfield.
Troiano doesn't like it. You always play your best D when you're personally responsible for the turnover, and Troiano there let's see, let's have another look there. Ooh, I mean, Troiano touched the disc first. He didn't love the foul call. You can see his body language. He did land into him.
It's a tough one when it carries you through. I think it's bounced out of Weisel's hand, or it certainly looked like that.
Here's another look.
So if you can see what happens first, the contact, they're both going up.
Troiano knocked it away, and then there was a thumb hook there. The number 7 shirt for Israel.
Weisel, Omer Weisel, who is competing underneath it. It's tough when you're both coming at it from alternate angles. I feel like you let that contact go, to be honest with you. But these players defining it for themselves, and Osri gets it back. It certainly doesn't come out as clean as he was hoping it would. And there's the shot over the top and over the receiver as well. So the Spanish able to get it back. San Jose. And a fantastic grab. Machi Giron showing how much he wants that disc. And now they're sending it down the field. That Fran Juan connection once more. Juan Pasco calling for it. They go back to Neil instead. And there's the Royano. Royano gets it into the middle. The Spanish starting to really run hard. Lightning blade. And a nice little inside break from Romano.
Tiki-taki once again. That's the Spanish style. They're showing it. The possession-saving catch by number 14, Giron. Kept that alive. That was a play that he needed to make. The defense was closing in on him about 4 throws before, and then they went into full, Spanish tiki-taki mode. Tiki-taka. In fact,
made famous by the Spanish soccer team, or football. As you can see here, just how quickly they move it across the pitch. Neil Dalmau, Romano. Just passing it, fiery, fast.
I mean, it was really only that assist throw where the mark arrived and maybe got to 1 on the stall count.
Francisco Romano, he has a goal and assist to his name so far. 26 years old and playing out of that Barcelona Kraken's side. They move so fast, it's so hard for a defense to get set against it, or for a commentator to keep up.
A scintillating style, and the Spanish flexing their muscles. First half action here. The two teams both very aware that they might be flying under the radar here. This is a game they both would love to win, carrying into some of the bigger matches upcoming.
And a big shot looking downfield for Semo, and that isn't quite in yet. He's on the end zone line. That's one of the players they're most comfortable with. Katzir shimmy, shakes, jukes, jives, and there's the blade over the top, and a big grab by Yaron Katzir.
Goodness gracious, Yaron Katzir showing no concern for the welfare of his body there, putting it on the line at the back of the end zone. That's the best response we've had thus far. This is a coach of the national teams with Ben Zion, also co-owning the ultimate school named school coaching system, the Ultimate Frisbee Academy, UFA. So shout out to them while you watch your coach throw himself around with reckless abandon to put goals on the board on this biggest stage.
If I would describe anything in that play as reckless, it's Semo. That's all about trust. He sees the moves, doesn't like the first cut, doesn't like the second cut, and in the end he's like, nothing else is happening. I'm throwing it to Yaron. That's what's going on. Sergio Diaz putting on, or forgive me, that was Luis Pashek putting on great defense. And in the end, it's not a great throw. I didn't think it was going to be catchable. I was almost immediately proven wrong by Yaron Katzir. Excellent stuff, but showing the trust that runs through the very heart of this Israeli team.
Yeah. They are not shying away one little bit despite the early deficit in this game. They are right back in it. They're one away. They're playing D. They got to find a break is the biggest job for Noam Elishar's club here. But getting those holds, very, very important, and doing it with that kind of style and excitement. Awesome for the fans back at home. I think that is a offside conceded.
So Troiano gets to pick it up at the brick mark and does so. Gets it to Neil, gets it back off him awfully quick. Giron back, Troiano, and Giron. So Israel sticking with the zone. Not dissuaded from it yet. As you can see how comfortable they are just moving that disc really quickly between each other. Again, Romano. Cross. Troiano, Romano again. Troiano, 43 is going to be central to everything. Dalmau, Romano, Dalmau again, and there's the quick pop passes, and they run immediately after the throws. Troiano probably the only one just acting as that base and not chasing every throw he gets. Dalmau, as soon as he catches it, he's looking to step and go one more time. You can see why, drawing triangles all over the pitch and arcing one to the opposite side. But big defensive block.
Knocked away in the nick of time. Tal Ozri, the defensive stalwart, the man who was picked up and put on the Bologna side there, La Fota, for exactly these reasons, to be able to generate defense and turnovers, especially when the converse would be a goal against. So in that end zone, that's exactly where they need him to be making plays, and they get one there. This is a rare break chance for Israel.
Can they convert? It's a long way to go to the opposite end zone, and they're going to be under a lot of pressure the whole way down. You can see Israel, they have to reuse a lot of these players. I like that head tilt from Monterde. I thought he was going to go big launch, but that is trailing away, and the closest player all the way down the pitch is Francisco Romano.
And he turns into a spiking Viking to knock that one 15 feet out of the field proper there.
Was that to your liking?
Yes, I don't mind. If you don't catch your Ds, at least knock them right the heck out of the field, so there is no chance for a mac on or an extra opportunity to win to give it another bit of life.
So Neil Dalmau thought about centering it. And there's the big shot. The Spaniards showing how much they like to go deep. They might not be known for it. Fantastic grab by Francisco Romano.
Are we getting some showboating there? Is he that confident? Was that necessary? I'm not sure. Maybe it was. It looked fantastic. I do think that that's almost something you see in a bit of freestyle. Romano, wow, what are you doing out there? The Barcelona native, or at least where he's living now, doing it again. Coming out representing Krakens. And that, I mean, I would love to get another look at it. I think we're going to right here because that catch was circus-like.
So Marquez gets it in power position. And I like this, to be honest with you, from Romano. Because how many times do you see somebody turn around and lose the disc over their head? I swear the disc gets faster as soon as it goes over your head.
Yeah.
Romano choosing to backtrack. He had the time, he had the space, and he had the balance up until it mattered anyway, and securing the grab. I've seen a few things like that when somebody's chasing it and they jump and turn around so they can follow it all the way into their hands, and then they deal with the consequences of gravity afterwards.
Israeli D-line there, that was, like we said, a rare opportunity they've had to break. In the end, they showed a bit of patience in their end. They hucked it. The huck was never going to come off. That was, you know, I think the Spanish defender was in better position no matter where it would have went, and it trailed away. Romano there.
So Strassman gets it to Osri. Osri thinks about trying to get it into the middle. It seems like the Spaniards have switched to match, thrown out something a little bit different as they're looking to get a break to take half, which would be a commanding take lead into half. But there's other ideas on the other end of the pitch, and collected for the score by Sheshik.
Very quick hold there. That's the most efficient we've seen Israel hold. 5 throws. Well, no, not the most efficient, but the last couple, they're starting to just say, okay, we know a way around this. Integrating the long throws and using that wind to their advantage. Cheshik there, 4 goals. Someone for Spain to start to put a bit more attention on. That's maybe put their best matchup on Cheshik, because he is keeping Israel in this and going to give them a chance if they can generate the break. Now, Israel have been showing their zones just the same now. So for the last 3-4 defensive possessions, their last 3-4 pulls, they've followed up with a zone as well. They're right before the half here. Maybe their time to start putting a man on, start putting a little bit of match pressure and see what happens there.
I do think if they're going to go with that option, they're going to have to start helping off the back of the stack. The Spaniards have shown a real proficiency for sending it deep. And as we saw just there with the Israelis, once that match comes available, they're able to utilize that space a bit more. There isn't someone permanently standing there, and they can set up those looks. We know the Spaniards can. If they're going to switch to match, they're going to need to help each other in the deep space. For now, though, well, I think they might have just done that, actually.
And let's see, you know, they should be capable of that switching. They should be capable of identifying last back, but no, Arrowhead again.
You sounded so disappointed, Matt. Spaniards looking for the hold. Dalmau gets it back to Giron. Giron back over the top to Dalmau. So again, nice quick passes. Troiano across to Romano. Romano back into Troiano. Troiano faking, and you have to throw those fakes. You can't let the arrow get settled against you, or it'll start to lodge itself under your skin and annoy everything you try to do. Great throw into the middle. Monterde back to Troiano. Troiano to Giron. Big bid, but Monterde is able to get it, and he's now working with Giron and Romano. And here's that lightning fast play. They're running down the pitch. San Jose says yes way, and they find Romano for the score.
Romano doing it and doing it again, getting involved in every aspect of this attack. I mean, Spain just take half here, then and we'll be able to talk about it a bit more. But this is a team that was 6th at Toms. They know how to swing it with this big team. They got to find the culture. They've got enough size. They've got enough speed. They're staying ahead here, 2 up. Is this time we see Romano and the Spaniards, as we see the stat line there, find that culture, bring it all together, and take their next step on the international stage? Putting away Israel would be the first part of that statement, but would have a lot of work to do otherwise. But looking good in the first half are Spain, taking the 8-6 lead. We'll take that to halftime. We're going to take a break with them, give you a few words, and we'll be right back for some second half action.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to the opening game in the Open Division today here at EUC 2023. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Oh, still morning. Got another 8 minutes left of morning. As we can see, the Spaniards are up 8-6 on the Israelis. The Spanish did start on offense, so they only have one break to their name so far. But it's more than enough to put them into something that looked like a bit of a commanding lead. The two teams settled into it. But how are the other teams getting on around the fields, Steph?
Well, we'll start off in this division, Ireland and Italy. So this is a tough division in Open. Italy up on the Irish, much to Lorcan's chagrin. 8-6 at the moment, but tough, tight game. So same score lines we got here. That is the rest of this division, as noted. Looking around, otherwise we've got Netherlands up on Austria, 8-5. GB up on France by the same scoreline, 8-5. Might surprise some, not others, to see that GB up with a decent margin on a strong French team. And otherwise, we've got Denmark and Switzerland, but I'm sure you've got that on your other stream back home, because that's happening right behind us on ULTI.TV, and that's 8-3. The Danes up big on the Swiss.
As we can see, will the Israelis be able to close the gap and fight their way back into this matchup against Spain? Something that we see a lot of in the first half was zone, Steph. Do you expect to see a return to that in the second?
I gotta think so. I mean, if I'm Israel, they need something different. They gotta change it up to find a way to get 2 breaks. They have no breaks thus far. They've been running a very similar defensive set all game long. So it's them in the driver's seat to change the style up here. If they want to keep playing zone, trade, well, they're going to lose. And if you're going to lose, I mean, a lot of people say don't lose without trying a zone. But if you've been playing zone all game, don't lose without, well, trying some match defense.
They've only gotten 2 turns off this Spanish O-line so far. So, game opened with a break for the Spaniards. Sorry, forgive me, I was wrong on that front. So open with a break for the Spaniards. They followed up with another break shortly thereafter to go 3-1 up in the early exchanges. So if Spain can punch this in, they will extend the lead. For now, it seems like they are sticking close to individual players, apart from Avner Batat, who's trying to creep off into that open space.
A little bit of a travel discussion by the looks of things here.
Joshua Machi-Giron, who's proven to be a very effective fireside handler as he gets the quick pop to Gonzalez Betancourt. Centers it to the middle. That man again, Romano, who has been so fantastic for Spain so far. Back to, he tries to get to Giron, uncontested foul. That makes a lot of sense. Schuster Shaloni is an imposing presence on the force, but he's got his hands full right now with Romano. Romano can't get his Betancourt. He's forced to try and go back to Giron, able to. There or thereabouts. And there's the quick pass through to the middle. Troiano actually playing downfield for a lot of this point. And then throws it through a gauntlet of bidding Israeli players to be collected for the score by, I believe, Jan Wasco.
I think it's Monterde.
It's a 9, you're correct, Monterde.
Romano again, just doing everything. The throw from the far sideline, a simple swing throw. He went into full splits there practically to get around his mark, showing his flexibility that, which comes with incredible athleticism. That's the 2 for none for Spain. 2 holds in a row. That's the benefit they get from breaking at the start of the game. They finished the first half off with a hold. They get another one here to open up the second half, and that is what extends to the 3-point lead for the Spaniards. So now we're going to see Israel come out on defense in this second half, and they're in some urgency defense now. Down a triple with time ticking away. They got time. They've got time.
What they don't have is a lot of turns.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're getting very few chances to do it. So try something different. If you get 0 chances with your zone, well, why not try something else?
Well, first off, they've got to get the hold. And this pull a lot more effective for the Spaniards, who once again come down in match. So we saw Israel be able to play fairly effectively against it towards the end of the half, as you can see how quickly they're resetting those up into power positions. Bendor has it. A little bit of contact in the middle of the field, but I don't think that's going to affect possession. Semo talking to Bendor, looking to clear out. Katzir is downfield, those luminous yellow socks, as he's hoping to lead his team back into this game. Bendor centers back into the middle, and Strassman. Strassman goes back to Bendor. Across the field, so still taking their time. Semo wants the shot to Sheshik, gave him a little nod, but Sheshik's cut came a bit too late. The timing was off, as was the accuracy on that pass.
That's a coverage sack, as the Americans say, but great defense and forced the pressure throw.
So we get another look at this Spanish D-line. They got 2 breaks early in the game. They're looking for one to start the second half, but great heads-up play by Osri. Like you say, you throw it, well, he didn't throw it away, but he wasn't able to catch it. Involved in the turnover, and involved in getting it back.
Yeah, you better believe that. Wasn't on him, but he still felt it a bit more personally.
So Israel trying to find Semo, and Semo is working very hard in the middle of that pitch just to keep giving options. Osri unleashes one, looking deep for Sheshik, and finding him just outside the end zone. And doesn't like the quick pop in, surprised by that, has to turn it down twice, and it's the third one in the end. Semo gets the score.
Osri taking it upon himself there. The turnover got away from him. He threw everything on the line, threw his body, did everything he could to make the play laying out. Didn't get there, got the D, got disc in hand again, bombed it the other way. The young defensive cutter, Tal Osri, only 21 years old out here, could still be playing, could have been playing in Nottingham, but here he's doing it on the big stage and setting that whole play up. So now's the moment, Lorcan. They got the hold we spoke about. You see Sheshik just adding to his tallies there. 4 goals and assists. What a game for him as well. I mean, I was talking about Ostri in that sequence. He set it up with the long ball.
And a reversal of roles for the Itais, Sheshik and Semo. Semo had 3 assists. Sheshik had 4 goals in that time. They each picked up their first respective assist and goal on the other end to each other. So the Itai is so crucial for the Israeli offense.
Showing a little bit of Itai versatility as well, not just scoring for one, not just assisting for the other. They can do a bit of it all.
Let's see how the Israelis, we've spoken a lot about the changes they need to make to their defense, something to make Spain a bit more uncomfortable.
Look like we're seeing some match here, Lorcan.
Well, we know what the Spaniards
they
are going to want to do against
it. They could morph at the last minute and try and be hiding it, but I think we are in a match D.
Very far, very deep horizontal stack in the set play. Quickly gets it back to Dalmau. Monteverde. A nice shot down initially. That's what you have to do against the Spanish. You know those passes are going to come quick and fast. Monteverde and Romano. Romano again. Has Troiano, but couldn't find him in time. Goes for the low blade, gets it to Monteverde. And then he throws it in quick for the pop score, collected by Giron.
And so they went the other look. The tiki-taka lit them up a little bit. They moved quick again. I do still feel they have an advantage when it gets to a short field playing match defense. And if they can prevent the huck, if they can cover the deep, get them into that, I think they're going to get more of a chance for a turnover in a short field if they can stick with it. If they can stick this out, they gotta find a way to get in the way of these throwing lanes, though. A little bit of poaching, a little bit of switching, because they just move so quick, the Spanish. They change directions, and there you see Giron getting his first goal, first stat of the game. He's on the board. Had a great game. Now he gets a stat to go with it. We've mentioned him for some defensive plays and some great catches in the middle of the field as well.
That's it, exactly. He's been in and about the offense all game long and picking up a stat right at the end. I think at some point, if you are the Israelis and you're trying to come up with a defensive way to put a bit more pressure on the Spanish, have you thought about tripping Alvaro Monteverde? Because he's just so quick at getting the disc and getting rid of it right back. He has been picking up goals and assists throughout this game. So far he has 5 stats to his name. You see why he's played at the highest level of Spanish Ultimate, and right now showing that he is the highest level of Spanish Ultimate here on the European scene. And if you're going to do anything to really put them under pressure, you're going to have to find a way of shutting him down. And I don't know who's taking that assignment on Israel, because
it's tough.
I wouldn't want it.
You can't really assassinate. There's a couple too many weapons on the Spanish O-line, but he is one that whoever the assignment is there is going to have their hands full.
Semo centers to Sheshik. Sheshik, big one all the way down the field into the hands of Katsir, who tries to get it back and does so nicely to Osri.
Katsir to Osri, showing a little bit of their own give and go motion there. The low stall count, no stall count offense. Katsir, you know, this is he's doing it for the people at home, the players and kids at home that he coaches. They're all watching. Check out his Instagram and YouTube page. For UFA, the IFDA is Israeli Flying Disc Association coaching courses, and of course his own playing prowess, throwing assists like that to his running mate Osri.
So a really great finish as Osri is filling up that stat sheet. Maybe that last one not something you want to take up too much, but we've seen him work so hard to get the disc back in critical moments for them, and he's going to be playing a lot. As you can see, the Israelis swapping some players over throughout this game.
There was a question earlier about the turns and how when we show players' stats, how those turns, there's a few that we have to be objective when we make the statistic analysis. Was it the thrower? Was it the receiver's fault? And it is humanly processed. We have people on the sideline taking these stats and trying to assess fault in the moment. And
it can be tough. I've done stats on some games, and you look at it, you go, that some of them are clear. That was clearly a thrower error, or if it bounces off the chest, that was a receiver error. But there are times, and you're like, was that a block? Was that a drop? Like that also comes into it to an extent.
Very tricky, and I think they're doing a great job, by the way.
Troiano.
The other question in the chat, Lorcan, as they work out where they're going here, is what do we think of the Spanish hat situation? And we'll talk about that after this play.
A big shot from Troiano. And he's looking for one of their favorite targets downfield, Alvaro Monterde, but his feet got a bit tangled under him there. Maybe he should have tried running backwards.
He's good at that. We've seen him succeed doing as much.
Could have worked out better. I know Wiftuff wouldn't approve of the Spanish hat situation, but personally the different hats can be helpful, especially with the players we're less familiar with. Although, of course, don't tell anybody at Wiftuff I said that. And now Israel, the wind has really picked up and the rain, and that is an understandable error. So Troiano, a little bit of Huck and D coming back to the fore, and a missed throw himself. So Israel get the disc back. This is the first time they've managed to get 2 turns off the Spaniards in 1 point. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's when the rain picked right back up. That was a tasty dish. That big throw. I don't think he meant to arc it that far, but it's absolutely perfect. You'll take all the chances you can get, and you'll need a little bit of luck sometimes too. Now, are they going to try and call that down on Osri? The throw from Shalev. Osri and the Romano locking horns. And Osri calls a timeout immediately. Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge opportunity for them. Here, as we watch the replay there, there's a fair bit of contact going down. But huge opportunity. If they can get this one, that one break leaves your defense on the field, can propagate the next. So let's see what happens. For now, we'll take a break, as the players do, and take a little timeout.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back. As you can see, jumping up and down for joy, trying to raise that spirit, trying to show that heart. The Israeli Open team here at the European Ultimate Championships. The conditions have gotten a little bit more Irish in the past minute and a half. And if they can hold on for another few minutes, Israel pop this one in, going downwind with the chance for another break. They could be just a few short plays away from tying this game up. So 10-8. But it doesn't look like it's going to stay that way for long, Steph.
The score is going to change. One way or the other. It could well change favorably for Israel here. I mean, you talk about it's always a good time for a break, but second half, after you haven't had one all game, you've been begging, you've been pushing, you get a timeout with a short field, and time ticking away. This would be an optimal moment for a break.
Osri, and interesting to see what the Spanish go for. It's pretty clearly a setup on an isolation front of stack. Libovic in the dump position, so the Spanish setting up that pinch to try and shut down the first look for Israel. That's an awful lot of red shirts in and around Osri and the stack. So I would just clear that out straight away. Sends it back And there's the throwaway. A bit of a miscommunication, and the opportunity goes begging, and the Spaniards respond with an immediate timeout of their own. That is a curious decision to go with, but I think maybe trying to outweight this wind and this rain. So we welcome you back for a quick possession, and at 10-8 the Spanish decide to take a moment themselves.
So with the second timeout, we're going to take a little break too, and we'll be right back before this game tails off to the pointy end.
Come on, break!
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting edge strategies and to see analysis of world class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
So is that you saying you don't want us to go to breaks at timeouts? Welcome back. See, again, Israel trying to keep those spirits high. It's hard not to let that last possession affect you. See if they can stifle the Spaniards again. This is the most turns they've been able to get off them in a point. One more might not be out of the question. But great call by Troiano. The rain has stopped. The wind has died down a little bit.
In touch with the elements, Troiano.
Times a fantastic layout block. Yuval Lebo lays out. Gets a critical turn.
Yeah, living in Tel Aviv, the data analyst throws himself on the turf.
Osri tries to get back into the middle. Batat going down the line and almost threw that past Yahalom. This is good. Sharp passes from the Israelis. They're going to need to try and go upwind, which means it's going to be a lot of spin on those discs. But that. Across to Livovic.
You were
Livovic. Into the center to Osri. Osri tries to scoop it backhand for the break and caught in the end zone.
Well, there it is. They've been waiting all game long for that moment. The celebration justified. What a play there. Churakov cashes in, and Israel are putting their D-line back on the field for the first time this game. Churakov, the 182-centimeter big man there, 30 years old. Home city, St. Petersburg, and doing it here for Israel. But I got to go back to Lebo there. Yuval Lebovic, he got that disc back. And we saw a double timeout. You see the stat lines coming up there for Churakov. We're not going to see a stat line for, well, we will. A block garnered for Lebovici. And that really set this up. There's a couple shout-outs here. His sporting hero, Kurt Gibson. I think many people in this sport want to exemplify what he's done over the years. And if Kurt Gibson ever gets to watch this one, I think he'll be proud to have inspired Lebovici to get that D and set up the first break of the game for Israel.
And a rare double turnout on that point.
Yeah, double timeout, double turnout.
We're just saying, like, it's got a name for a reason. It's not something we're just making up. And both times it happened within 2-3 passes.
Yeah.
So I would have almost preferred to see Spain just bomb it.
Yeah, just don't ever take timeouts.
So now they've got to go up into the wind. Never stop. Never settle.
10-9, as close as we've been in a long while in this one.
So that flies out the back for another brick. Spain hoping to set up what I believe looks like an isolation by Monterde. Nope, just on the near sideline, sneaking along is Juan Pasco. So Neil Dilmau has that unenviable position of staring into the wind and trying to get his defense or his offense, going. Oh, great cut. Nice poach off block by Sherikov, and then the throwaway, so an immediate turnover. Great defensive pressure. Artemij Sherikov was brilliant at shutting down the cut from Romano, and there's the quick throw over to Semo, and they tie the game.
Woo-wee! Tal Osri with the fall down, wrap around, outside in backhand. That's a page out of Morgan Hibbert's book, the undefendable backhand around when you're going to fall down to the ground anyways, throwing it. And wow, Israel take advantage of, they've not been getting these opportunities. They work so hard to get that last one, the double timeout, the double turnover. They finally get a break. There, one more opportunity, and they were not messing around this time. 10-10 on the board. Wow, we don't have to say much when we're repeating the same score with both teams. We got a barn burner here, ladies and gentlemen.
Longest run of consecutive points for either team in this game, and Israel choosing the right time to do it. Tal Osri, 3 assists, 3 blocks getting done on both ends, and has to get a little bit of credit for that block on the last one as well as a goal. A few turns is in for good measure. And then on the other side of it, collecting it, Itai Semo, absolutely spectacular so far in this game, adding another goal to go with his assists. 5 stats altogether, so more than half of the points Israel have scored, and doing it on both sides, coming over to the D-line when it's important, when it's needed.
Yeah, between Semo, Osri, and Katsir, I mean Chechik, there's 4 players that are doing a lot of stat line damage.
And a big jump through block, fantastic stuff by Schuster Shaloni. Israel are flying high right now. They're still technically at a bit of a disadvantage, but it's all even right now. Starting on D, this is the break they need to rectify the fact they went into half at a deficit after starting the game on offense. Osri, the sun is starting to shine. Will it shine on the Israelis? Levovic gets to the far sideline and the waiting arms of Semo. Semo gets it down the line to Osri. Osri has been absolutely magnificent in the second half. Tries to lead Semo and does so for the quick pop in and the lead. 11-10.
What on earth is going on here? The Israelis have caught fire. We talked about just needing to be able to find a way to break, and then that momentum, it just comes, leaving your D-line on the field. They start to feel the potential, and they are feeling every feel imaginable right now. It is all Israel. I don't see a timeout coming from Spain, and that is a little bit baffling to me. They took that one earlier. I mean, I think they do still have one in pocket. But, wow, Israel has stolen every ounce of momentum in this game, and with it, the lead.
A big part of that is down to trusting their stars. Tal Osri, 4 assists, 3 blocks a goal. We were talking about him just on the last point, but it's more than just those stats. It's how he isn't afraid. He is going for that disc with a hunger. You can see sometimes when teams start to get down, they're playing at the highest level. And bear in mind, for all the club experience that they bring to the fore, a lot of these Israeli players don't get a huge opportunity to play at the highest levels. Tal Osri, obviously, one of the few that does, and you can see that experience coming through as there has been a timeout called as we see Spain try to fight their way back into this matchup. For the first time ever, they are down, and it's 11-10 to Israel. So Spain floundering a little bit and watching this game slowly slide out of view, potentially. 4 consecutive scores they've given up. One was an offensive hold, and then a bit of a mammoth point, as far as this game goes anyway, with several turns. 3 for the Spaniards, 2 for the Israeli D-line. They were eventually able to punch it in. Since then, Israel have only needed one opportunity. Both those breaks coming from flawless D-line possessions.
That pull sails out of bounds. Tal Osri not happy with himself, as it does.
Yeah, the Israeli pulling has left something to be desired in this game, and something they can tighten up as they go forward. Something that does concern me is it's a lot of the same players you're seeing out there time and again for Israel.
They have shortened their lines convincingly. Let's see if that has an effect.
The quick pop and a massive layup. That was absolutely prescient by Osri. Read the future. Simo feeds. He wants the double happiness, but perhaps getting a bit too eager as Alvaro Monterde gets it right back.
Wow, Monterde takes it away, and the Spanish will play again, but Osri came from behind the thrower to get that bid. We got to see that again. It's coming here. But wow, just incredible stuff by Tal Osri, coming from behind the thrower and catching up with his body in the air. And there you see the Spaniards get it back a little over ambitious after the turn that time.
Riding their emotions perhaps slightly too high, as that is going to come back in. What an incredible breakthrow around. There's a call. I did not think that was going to work. As we see once again, I get what Simo was thinking. You got to feed the man after he makes a play like that, but double coverage and great heads up by Monterde. Giron's backhand break, he was under a lot of pressure. It's not even in the frame. You can see how high and arcing that was. That's the kind of stuff that is like 95% of the time a turnover.
Yeah, that like, I mean, 95% of the time it was out of the field of play from the coffin corner. Super high angle arc on that. You're right, Lorcan. That's a throw that comes off way less often than it does stick.
You can see why Troiano has been so central to so much of this Spanish offense. He is facing a lot of defensive pressure from Schuster-Siloni. Again, forced to arc one up. Lots of people underneath it. And I thought Monterde was going to take it down, but
Katsir got in the way.
Too many bodies. And what seems to have been a very quick timeout called. We almost didn't even notice it. So Israel recognizing their opportunity to go 2 points up, and in this sporadic weather conditions, they need to strike while their opportunity is available. Perhaps not while the iron is hot so much as while the wind is howling. We will see if they can finish it off. Israel 11, Spain 10. Welcome back. What I find a little bit perplexing is the Israeli team, during the timeouts they called when the game wasn't nearly as close, as we have another look at this throw from Troiano. Somehow that worked, but I had to go back and ultimately it led to a turnover. The Israeli team weren't chanting, weren't dancing. Right now, they're all business.
All business. They sense what they've done already. And they've never mind hold their way through the end. They've got another break chance right in front of them. And this is just a monumental shift of a game. We've seen these happen all the time. Most certainly the course of this short tournament that we're just getting into, and we're seeing some parts of it right now.
Surely you go for the break straight away, and there's a uncontested foul. Just reset the stall count. You can see Troiano standing up and basically just playing a free rover right now, but it's giving Leibowicz an awful lot of space. Comes back and collects it from the pop, and a big layout bid from Giron, uncontested. He is trying to suffocate Semo right now, but that's going to be difficult to do. Semo has been absolutely fantastic in this matchup. So Semo, front of the end zone. The pinch on the 2-5 stack. Nice swing around. It goes over the top of Leibowicz, and Troiano scoops in to get it away. I thought that was going to be stolen by Katzir. So Spain save their blushes for now. Dalmau. Dalmau wants Pasco, gets it to him. Giron. Giron back into Troiano. Troiano says no to Dalmau, tries to launch when he's going deep, but Leibowicz is always in the correct position and gets the big grab. I don't know how Juan Pasco was able to get that high up on Leibowicz's back.
Looks like Leibowicz is coming off under a little bit of pain, but it seems to be okay.
And then coming on for him, Yuval Ziskin to pick up the disc. Sheshik against Monterde, almost immediately in front of it. Might be keeping an eye there. And they're able to get the disc moving again. Semo gets it back to Ziskin thereabouts. Back to Semo. Try down the line. And a big jump, not quite enough of a touch. Semo holds on to it, goes for the flick blade all the way across, and caught for the goal, and the break into the arms of Schuster Shiloni.
Holy Romano did everything he can to prevent that break from going against. Lays out, gets a touch. The completion still manages, and it goes against. The Israelis are getting the bounces. You got to be good to be lucky, and they've been being good in the last 20 minutes of this game, and the luck is now bouncing in their favor as well. Israel pouring it on. Here's another look. There's the throw for the score in the end. The number 12 shirt of Schuster Shiloni cashes that one in. And geez, they are going for it. Shiloni, normally known for his big skies, his lefty throws, this time just using a bit of speed and getting some separation in the back of that end zone. His new age teammates back home watching will be pretty happy to see that. Israel with a 2-point lead. And you look at this run. 10-8 turned into 12-10.
Incredible stuff by the Israeli outfit. A 5-point run. They are dominating this second half. It was 8-6 to Spain going into the half. So Israel have scored half of their points in this second half. They are currently 6-2 up, thanks to that 5-point run. Going both directions, and now the weather really making itself known, which might lock it in. So Spain, fortunate to be going downwind right now, but they've got to get a hold. They've got to find a way to stop this bleeding, because right now they look like some hemophiliacs out there. Dorta. And I like that decision. Dorta coming over from the D-line to the offense. You've got to start mixing some things up. Again, these matches, they don't carry over to the power pools, but when Israel and Spain come up against each other, they've both got to be thinking, this is where we want. And I like that back of the stack, watching for those deep shots. We saw Spain use them to great effect. The reactivity of this Israeli team. Their malleability is very impressive. As now Spain go back to what brought them to the dance in the first place. That quick give, go, play. Centering it into the middle in the waiting hands of Lorenzo. Lorenzo with a low backhand break to Dorta. Dorta just about gets it back. Pashek. They move it so quickly. Dorta again. Quick pop into the middle, and like a shot for the end zone, they score!
Boy, did they need that. They finally got back into some of that scintillating style we saw at the start of the game. The Israelis, since they've come out and started playing match defense, the Spaniards have been stifled. Made a couple line changes. They got back to their style, but now they're going to need their defensive line to do them a favor, too. Here's another look at the sequence. That play there by Ben Zion, that was Ite Semo throwing his body around just about, but Spain maintains possession and gets that all-important goal on the board to end the run against.
Jimenez Perez was able to find Ricardo Marquez, but those goals, those assists were coming on breaks earlier in the game, now showing up when they need him to stop the bleeding. 11-12. Now the score. So Spain are going to need 2 breaks to take the lead back in this matchup.
I did not think at halftime, I did not think at 10-7 that Israel had this in them. Nothing against them, of course. They're a good team, but the way they were playing, it just seemed like they were hanging out with that zone. They were happy to kind of trade from behind, and then they have just flipped the script, and it is them control of this driver's seat. Shotgun rules, whatever. Nobody's even sitting in the front with them. They've got the steering wheel, the clutch control.
Here's the thing. If Spain can get this turn, you'd have to think it'll be a lot easier of a job to get the next one as well. So they're going to try and shut things down in the short field and get an early turn. Sheshik. Now you got to remember the Israelis don't have as much depth available and would be presumably at least starting to get a little bit tired at least. Katzir. Katzir goes back. Strassman. Into the middle, Yahalom. Testing out a few options. Yahalom again. Back into the middle. So not finding any serious way through the initial zone, but not forcing themselves either. The rain is really bucketing down right now. Semo is going to make those flicks all that more slippery. Yahalom into Strassman. Strassman in the middle. Those breaks perhaps slightly less on, so they're going with the high backhand releases. Semo. Strassman. Doesn't like that initial look. Yahalom. Floats it dangerously, but trusts his receiver. And again, they found a little bit of a gap, but not quite enough to carry it through. Sheshik. Strassman. Strassman, Yahalom. It's all backhands right now. Until that blade over the top, and it bounces out of Katzir's hands.
Mishandled, and that's what Spain needed, a break chance any which way possible. That one a little bit of a gift, and Spain, let's see if they can unwrap.
Gobos. The blade straight into the middle, not an easy throw to Betancourt. Perez. Back across to the middle. Diaz. And a big layout bid by Semo, but there's going to be a call. Perhaps a bit too much contact. So Semo and Perez. So we have another look here. Those are the millimeters that are so hard for us to call from the booth. That looks pretty clean to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Here comes Spain once more. Gobos. Gets back to Diaz, back to Gobos. So just struggling a little bit to get that quick play, and there's an accidental stamp.
Cleated. Those hurt. I think anybody who plays this game, that's happened at least once.
Everybody at home is just oohing
Oof.
in unison.
Oh, I don't know if he did get cleated. His calf kind of fell into as a shin on shin.
So Diaz and Kobos having to do it all themselves right now. Perez comes back to get involved, give a little bit of assistance. Don't like the first pop. That's some fantastic D-heads by Yalov to stop Diaz getting the disc back. It goes to Perez. Perez with the hammer in the rain. What's coming down?
Oh, Johnny on the spot. Tal Osri went up early. Got a touch. A foul called. And Osri concedes, and that's a goal. And boy, did Spain need that one. Leveled things up this time.
So for that to be a goal for Diego Lorenzo, that must have been a strip call?
Yeah, it must have been a strip. I thought it was a simple foul at first because I thought Osri touched it, and then it was collected off of the bounce. Let's have another look here. It was love to see the hammer any which way in this rain, Lorcan.
Beautiful stuff. So you see the initial touch, and there it is. That's the catch. Then the strip happens. So Diego Lorenzo staying active, staying with it, and Osri knows he's just ripped that out of his hands. Pretty devastating. So that hammer shouldn't have worked, but it did. And now Spain tie the game up and are going downwind.
So that is the potential 2-for-none the other way. I mean, you say this because, okay, Spain would have to break again, but we're talking about the weather here, of course, for those of you at home. The weather is back. It is
in a big way.
Left to right on your screen when we're from our central cam, and it's wet again. So a bit of an advantage for the side with the wind at their back, more so the side that starts with possession.
It's just about the perfect time for Spain to get that score, a big break. And that's how you respond to a long run. You send your team out there, you get an upwind break, and maybe you get a little bit lucky, but you got to take some of those shots. I don't think hammer upwind to the opposite corner was in the sensible decision-making guidebook, but certainly effective.
Yeah, that time, yes. 12-12, 3 minutes to play, Lorcan. Let's see how this one finishes out, as that one lands in Lake Limerick in that back corner of the field there.
Loch Limnock, the back right-hand side corner.
That is the one that collects most of the water so far.
Drainage has been doing
drainage
well.
The drainage here is next level, I will say that.
Not mandatory.
Yes, it better be. And it is.
Us and the Dutch, we're the best at drainage. Now let's see how good the Israelis can be going into the elements and against the odds. Closing exchanges of this game. We've got just a few minutes left. These are critical moments. Spain coming out with their zone. I like that look. So much pressure just about everywhere you go. So they're trying to just keep their heads when all about them are losing theirs. Ludovic gets it back. He has Samo. He's just about able to get it to him. That one came out bobbly, and you can see Samo, even on that short distance, doesn't want to flick it. Goes with the push pass.
Again.
Nice little hop up the top. Perhaps a bit too much contact. Having a quick discussion with Betancourt. That is Strassman. Strassman's also been very impressive. Another person, perhaps not picking up the most stats for them, but has been at the base of a lot of their offensive structures in this game.
Betancourt again, hand up there. They've been bumping and grinding. The defensive cutter working as much magic as he can to try and get this turn for the Spaniards.
Samo goes to the arcing flick over the top. That was adventurous, and it just worked out, and he collects it for the uprush. Does he go for a second one? I thought he does. Yeah, another blade over the top. Collected in. This is fantastic stuff. Osri making the tough grabs, and there's the collection to complete it. I thought we were going to see a bit of a kip up too.
And Israel doing what they can to stay in front. Osri taking it upon himself. The middle of the field touch that Osri got was a scintillator, and Cheshik gets the goal again. Ozri, okay, yes, the catch on the goal line, great, and he gets the assist to go with it. But it's just one play before that we saw where he gave and went before he went deep. That was awesome.
I want to give a lot of credit to Samo. Samo took on those passes that are so difficult but so essential against his zone. Everything's coming at you. So we have a look at one of the key leaders on this team, Sheshik. But Samo, you could even see him stamp down to make sure he got enough snap on that bladey flick. Incredible composure. He did it twice in a row, both to Ozri, and the entire zone was structured around stopping every other option and forcing that throw, saying if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with some kind of very difficult bladey flick over most of our defenders. And Samo said, well then fine, that's the option available to me, I'm taking it on. That takes confidence.
Indeed, as you see, we've just reached time cap. We are going to go into extended time. This is the point that we will assess. After this point, we will add one. If it's Spain that scores, we're on universe point. Keep that in mind.
So can Spain react as Israel come out once again in a zone themselves? Something of a 3-3-1. So they're going to ask the same of the Spanish offense. Are you willing to take on those overheads? Are you willing to take on those arcing passes? We've already seen them go for a big old hammer. And I think they want to tempt the Spaniards into doing it again. Troiano. Monterde and Troiano, who've been so fantastic throughout this matchup. Romano as well. Dalmau. I mean, it's all hands on deck. And the best of Spain right now. The people they trust the most with the disc in their hands. Great work by Troiano to pull the cup away and find that space. This is really good, tough condition offense. Romano. And you need those fakes to pull apart the wall and not let it settle against you. That was just a little bit spicy, but that's how the Spaniards like it. Monterde not forcing anything. Dalmau. The quick pop gets it back immediately. Has Troiano directly behind him, has about 3 Israelis all around him, gets it to Troiano, into Romano, says no on that flick. I thought that option was open, but you know Ozri can spring out and get a layout at any particular time. Spanish taking their time in front of the end zone, such a difficult place to be composed. San Jose to Dalmau,
Ooh.
That's going to be a free 10.
Free 10, reset the clock there. A sneaky little hand from the offside. Could have been a block, but metal was met. Dalmau hung onto the disc and just counts as a foul.
It's a really impressive offense from both these teams. You'd expect someone to cash in the downwind break, but Spain are saying, no, we're bringing this to universe. Dalmau, 3 foot out. Is that enough? Not forcing anything, and there's the quick pop and return. That's what they do best, and we're going to universe.
We're going to the universe. This field is a bringer of universes. We've got another one on our hands here. Spaniards put it on. I'm surprised to see Israel coming with another zone there. What worked for them in that run of points just before the end here, before a little bit of trading at the end, they got 5 of those breaks. They were playing match defense. They go with the zone again. Now we're going to see their O-line back on. That's the good thing. Spain will have the wind at their back. That's the good thing for them. This universe point matches up beautifully for us at home and us here in the box.
I like the look of the zone. I thought both teams were doing the right call. Let's put lots of pressure on. But both times, the offensive experience and confidence of the respective sides came to the fore. It was Samo with those blades, and that time, I mean, it was a litany. Romano, Monterde, Troiano, Dalmau. Dalmau probably played the pivotal role in the end, as well as Lorenzo. Just all of them not afraid to touch the disc, get it, make those movements, fake all the time, so the Israelis didn't know where to set their zone to shut down the major option and make it as easy as possible on their throwers. So fantastic, intelligent cutting from the Spanish, great throws from the Israelis, and now we've got a flick pull, gonna blade and roll all the way down. Stopped. Game to 14. Israel starting this point on offense. They started the game on offense too. And Spain sticking with the zone, hoping to get that pressure. Shut down what is available. Samo. trying to pass it around. But they're stuck in their own end zone, and this is the problem. They don't have the same movement. They're forced to go for difficult throws, but I mean, if they keep working out, thanks to Osri, then I'd keep going with them too.
Throw the tough stuff.
Centers. But still, they find themselves right back in that end zone so quickly. Nice little quick movement around. And there's a huge block going for the hook and shut down with authority.
Wow. Jimenez Perez stepped in the lane, 2 hands, all of his arms on all of that disc, and now a glorious chance for Spain to take back a lead.
Cobos sends it into the middle of the pitch. Diaz. And you can see they're sticking with their traditional D-line to try and bring this home. Romano's out there to help them. But Diaz is going to be at the focal point. Romano. Quick movement down the line. I'm not quite sure how he got that one off to Lorenzo.
Ooh. Wow, that foot block. The foot went out and shut the door. What a play by Semo. No, that was a flub.
I think that just slipped out of Lorenzo's hands.
That was a flub.
So Israel get it back. And this is some quick play. Sheshik doesn't want to send it deep. Understandable, if disappointing. Strassman. And they let the zone settle after some quick movement to get out of their end zone at least. Now they are once again facing down those jaws and opting to go for the big hiding flicks. The wind has died down ever so slightly.
Ooh.
So they have the chance here to finish it off. They're right outside the end zone. Katsir needs somebody to arrive. Libovic does. Strassman. Libovic. And Strassman, that's a little bit better. Arc around, get the pop, and try and jump through the first part of the zone. Semo. Strassman. Libovic. Cheshik, and that was, again, they're not afraid of taking on these arcing flicks, but it is a risky business. Libovic, backhand over the top. Nice to relieve that pressure. Strassman. Semo. And that time it doesn't work. Great heads-up play by Cobos. Streaking deep down the other side is Gonzalez Betancourt. I would have thought about it, but I also wouldn't have made this national team. Diaz is able to get it to Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to hold tight onto it this time. Goes with a backhand back into the middle. Diaz, offhand, left-handed. He's showing off a little bit. Perez, opposite side. Back into the middle one more time and a shot. Romano, incredible grab, and how else would this game have ended? Lorenzo gets it back for his team and gets the win.
How else would it have ended? Exactly that, Lorcan. We had it all. A game of runs back and forth. The Spaniards just find enough to pick it up and put it into play. To put that final point on the board. They take the lead back, and taking the lead back is a game winner in this case. In the nick of time, there you see the block from Jimenez Perez that set that up, taking away the huck. They gave each other enough chances here. They went back and forth, 4 turns on Universe Point, and the Spaniards collect. That is the big one, Cobos. That's the block that gave him the final possession. And that one counts. It was pushed to the ground even a little bit there. A little bit of question on the cleanliness of the catch, but catch nonetheless counts as a game winner, Lorcan.
Katsir did everything in his power, flying there and trying to bring a new age of Israel Ultimate here to Limerick, but you got to give a lot of credit to them for what they put up. But in the end, that man with the final assist, Romano, has been absolutely incredible all game long. 3 goals, 3 assists. The Spanish under intense pressure from 10-7 up to 12-10 down to claw back and win this game 14-13, ending it on a brace of scores, the hold, and then the break to win. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and still so much more action to come today.
Action all day. We don't stop bringing you guys the action. Next round on our streamed fields, we're going to have Finland versus Slovakia in the mixed field right here, in mixed division right here on this field. Sweden, Spain on the one behind. We're very excited here at ULTI.TV. We get ULTI.TV crew members in both those games, but we're going to get to those games. Let's wrap it up here for Lorcan Murray. Before it's for Lorcan Murray, we're going to have a quick look at the match stats here. Thanks to Force Sportswear for powering these stats, but there's a tail of the tape. And again, in a game that goes to Universe, you got to imagine these are going to be well balanced. The break chances, Israel getting just a couple more after, and those were all in the second half.
I think the difference there is the fact that Spain was just able to take better advantage of them. We saw Israel got a total of 2 turns and break chances in the first half. They were able to really turn it on in the second half, go on that impressive run. But in order to do it, they had to play to the same core players. That weariness starting to come. Like Sema was fantastic all game long, and then hand blocked twice, technically, on Universe point. But at that point, he'd just been relied on so much. You could start to see it's difficult to keep it going at that level throughout a whole match, whereas Spain, even on that last point, yes, okay, Romano came out and played both sides of the disc, but the rest of the time, it's Universe point. We need to get this win. We're going to bring on our D-line, and we're going to trust them as we see a fantastic grab there.
We've got a interview here before we take off, and I'm just going to get stuck into that as we have Ricardo Marquez joining us in the booth here. Ricardo, tell us a little bit about that game. First half, you guys had the lead. Everything was feeling good. And we'll just get straight to the point. 5 breaks against in the second half. What was going on there when those breaks went against Spain and Israel got going?
Change also. It become a little bit, it become a little bit windier. Hang on. Yeah, it become a little bit windier. We become a little bit nervous, I guess. But we knew the guys, Israel is a good team. They're gonna come back. I don't know. I guess we were a little bit relaxed because we were winning, making it easy. But yeah, we started making mistakes, and they were coming very, very, very hard.
Okay,
so
well,
yeah.
You guys weathered the storm in this weather. You were able to find a way to trade back in the end. You talk to us a little bit about that Universe point even. You guys 4 turnovers. Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a couple chances on Universe point. But yeah, talk us through a little bit on that last point.
My heart is still beating, right? I don't know. We knew that when the weather's gonna be like this, it's gonna be a kind of fight, like a Pacific fight. But like in the beach, we have this mentality of beach, of fighting on the time and running. So I don't know. It could have been for both sides. It came our side, so yeah, we were lucky at the end.
Incredible stuff. You guys have Ireland and Italy in your pool, so this was a very important win. You'll have 2 more very tough games. You got the win. I know that Italy beat Ireland 15-10, I believe, but they definitely got the win, so you'll have them next. I'm just going to wish you good luck from here on out. Thank you very much for having an interview. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And thanks to you back home. We're going to get ourselves out of here. We got more action coming up next. So stay locked on to ULTI.TV and catch that next one.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.